Good afternoon, Niner fans. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm in my car. I'm not at home. I'm in between patients and stuff. So figured I got a little bit of time to hop on and talk Niner football with you. I hope everybody's having a really good day. Before we start, make sure you hit that like button, all that good stuff. Subscribe. You know the vibes. Yeah, the 49ers are getting set to play the Seattle Seahawks. A big game this Sunday. The 49ers still have a chance for the number one seed. But unfortunately, the 49ers are going to be without one of their key players on the defensive line. Arik Armstead will be out this Sunday. According to Kyle Shanahan, he's dealing with some foot and knee injuries. We all knew that he had those, coming after that Philadelphia game. He had the foot injury last week, but apparently today, Kyle Shanahan said that, he's probably going to miss a week or two. It's nothing too serious, but it is something to keep an eye on. This is Arik Armstead. He's one of the better players on this defensive line. He's had a heck of a season. He's a very good player. He's a captain. He's a leader. So definitely a big injury. Let's take a look at some of the, the news here. And again, Arik Armstead is probably the biggest news of the day in terms of, injuries here. So according to Matt Barrows, Arik Armstead was not going to practice today because of the foot and the knee, and he's unlikely to play on Sunday, according to Kyle Shanahan. He did say that it doesn't sound like it's going to be a long-term issue, but, we'll wait and see how that turns out. David Lombardi added this, that it sounds relatively good news on Arik Armstead. Kyle Shanahan said it's probably going to be a week or two before he's back, but it's not an ACL or MCL with his knee. So that is huge. The fact that it's not an ACL, the fact that it's not an MCL, massively good news for the 49ers. We don't want to have this guy get hurt because he's a very good player. But the good news is Kalia Davis, Javon Kinlaw, those two guys have really stepped up. Last game, Javon Kinlaw, 2 sacks. Kalia Davis had his first career sack. So if anything, the 49ers have 2 guys that can step in and really continue to play well and develop and, step up for Arik Armstead. Now, Arik Armstead's a great player. He's a good leader. He's a captain, out there. So it's not going to be an easy, loss to this team. But the 49ers should be able to win these 2 games, Seattle and Arizona, without Armstead. But we need Armstead for that stretch run. Big game against the Ravens coming up. Maybe they make sure he's safe and ready for that game. I think that's where you kind of want to make sure Armstead's back. You got to have Armstead back for the Ravens. So I think you can allow him to rest these next 2 weeks and then let him come back for Christmas. So it's unfortunate news for Armstead, who's been having a heck of a season. But, if you really think about it, it could be worse. It could have been worse for him. So good news, again, it's not an MCL or ACL. So you hate to see injuries, but it is good news that it's nothing too serious. So another injury, Elijah Mitchell, go figure. He won't practice today with the knee injury. Ray McLeod, he will be limited because of his rib injury. So those are 2 injuries to keep an eye on. Ray McLeod missing some time because of the rib injury. Deebo Samuel was returning kicks last week, and he did a great job. Now, Elijah Mitchell, unfortunately, he always has been dealing with injuries. And, it's kind of a tough situation for Elijah Mitchell. He's a guy that Kyle really loves and trusts, but he has a hard time staying on the field, unfortunately for him. So we want to see Elijah Mitchell get on the field and play. CMC is great. We need to make sure he has, some backups out there, some depth. Jordan Mason, maybe he'll get a little bit more burn out there if there is any significant issues with Elijah Mitchell. And yesterday, Ty Davis Price was cut from the team. So it's not like they have the luxury of saying, okay, Mitchell can stay on the bench and we can bring up TDP. Mason's going to be the guy if Elijah Mitchell can't go. So I also read, according to Matt Barrows, this was crazy news, that Logan Ryan, the defensive back that came in yesterday, and they cut, Ty Davis Price. Logan Ryan, check this out. Not only did he take Ty Davis Price's locker, he took his number. He's wearing number 32, and he has Ty Davis Price's number. He completely took over his roster spot. That is crazy. He took his roster spot, took his locker, and he took his number, his jersey number 32. That's cold-blooded to me. That is cold-blooded. I don't know about you, but that is very cold-blooded to me. Logan Ryan, welcome to the Niners. You took a TDP spot. That was wild to me. Some other news on the day. Brock Purdy won the the NFL FedEx Air Player of the Week. Second time he's done it this year. Come on, man. MVP. Christian McCaffrey's number 3. He's number 3 in Pro Bowl voting overall, number 3 in Pro Bowl voting. And you know what else? The 49ers are looking to get Zach Ertz. There's rumors that he's, linked to the team. Unbelievable. It's crazy. You got to love it. Zach Ertz, 49ers. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's great news there. Again, 49ers looking to hopefully get some more depth in the tight end department. Ross Dwelly dealing with the high ankle sprain. Hey, why not go after Zach Ertz? So you got to love it. So far, relatively good news as the 49ers dominated the Eagles and get set to play the Seattle Seahawks. Again, Arik Armstead, tough injury, but I think the 49ers are going to make sure that they do a good job in terms of resting him and making sure the younger guys can step in and play well for him. Kalia Davis, Javon Kinlaw. A couple other things to talk about. This was something I noticed. Cam Inman tweeted that Dre Greenlaw said he's exchanged apologies with others with the Eagles security head of chief Dom. Right? He says he seemed like a genuine guy, a guy everybody loved in the building. Honestly, I really hate it. Even escalated and went to that. It's something I've never been a part of or seen in a game. So looks like Dre Greenlaw, he said his sorries and apologies to Big Dom, and apparently they've squashed the beef. No more beef, but there is no exact word on what's going to happen to either one of them. But it looks like for now they squashed the beef. We'll see. I'm sure that in the next couple of days, we're going to see some rulings, some suspensions, some fines, or whatever the case is for Dom and Dre Greenlaw. No word yet. Usually fines get set out on Saturday. Those type of things happen, by the end of the week. So we'll see. We haven't heard any news so far if Dre Greenlaw is going to be suspended or fined. I'm sure he'll be fined. And then same thing with Big Dom. Kyle Shanahan says he hasn't heard anything from the league office. So interesting news today to kind of ponder about and see what the heck's going to happen with Dre Greenlaw. I hope nothing happens with Dre Greenlaw because honestly, man, the whole situation was a mess. It was an absolute mess. Big Dom, Dre Greenlaw, it just was a silly, silly whole wild situation. And you know what? I hope that nothing, serious happens with Dre Greenlaw. Like, he doesn't deserve to be suspended. Heat of the moment, he's squashed the beef. He's apologized. And I'm glad he's the bigger man for that. So, we'll see what happens with those two in terms of what the fallout is, suspensions or fines. And we'll probably hear about that in the next couple of days. So overall, good news today. The 49ers, again, they get set. They went back to practice today. No Dre Greenlaw, no Arik Armstead, no Elijah Mitchell. Ray McLeod was limited. So a couple players, out, but the 49ers are relatively healthy. Logan Ryan is in there. He took TDP's roster spot. He took his number and he took his locker. So, we got some new faces. 49ers might look to go get Zach Ertz. We'll see what happens. My man, Julius Calloway, what's good? He says, does the Armstead injury mean Kinlaw will start and Kalia Davis enter the rotation? I absolutely think that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, if you really look at what's going on with the 49ers defensive line the last couple of weeks, yes, Arik Armstead has been a force, and him and Hargrave have been monsters in the middle. But, Javon Kinlaw has really stepped up, and I think he deserves to be in there in the middle with, Javon Hargrave. But Kalia Davis, also a very, very good player. He's not the only guy on that team. It's nice to see him get a sack, his first career sack. I'm sure he'll be in part of that rotation. But the 49ers also have Kevin Givens, so don't forget about Givens. Maybe they'll use him in that rotation. Kevin Givens, Javon Kinlaw, and Kalia Davis. But it's nice, Javon Kinlaw and Davis. They really stepped up last game, and I think they're going to be rewarded, and they'll continue to get more snaps. And the thing about Kalia Davis is he came a long way. Last year tore his ACL. He never really got a chance. It was a redshirt year for him. And for him to get that first sack this weekend was really, a cool moment for him. So I'm definitely thinking he'll get more snaps. And, the end of the day, this injury sucks for Armstead, but it's at a point of the season where I guess we can afford it. If you can't afford an injury, you never really can afford an injury. But this is a point of the season where I think the 49ers are rolling and they should be able to win these two games without Armstead. And it's going to allow Kalia Davis to get some, much needed development, a couple more snaps. It's going to go a long way for him. So it's a win-win for the 49ers. Armstead, he's banged up, but it wasn't a ACL or MCL. He gets more time to rest. and Kalia Davis gets more time to play more and develop his game, which is great. And you know what? Injuries are going to happen. At least we'll have Armstead for the big time stretch run, Ravens in the playoffs. That's what we need. We need to make sure that our big dogs, our great star players, our big captains are going to be healthy for the playoffs. That's when it matters, right? The 49ers have to be healthy for the playoffs, and that's what we got to do. So, yeah, it sucks to see the Armstead injury. I hope he gets better and rests up, but we'll have him back in a couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back for that Ravens game. So, I hope that answers the question there, Julius. But yeah, any other questions or concerns? I got a short amount of time here. It's just a quick break for me. I wanted to hop on live, talk about this whole Arik Armstead situation and everything else with you guys. It's been a good day so far. It's been a good week so far. 49ers are humming. They're kicking butt. Deebo Samuel, offensive player of the week, man. Well, let's talk about Deebo Samuel. We haven't even talked about him. That was a heck of a performance. He walked into Philadelphia. He wore all black. He wore black Air Force Ones. He scored 3 touchdowns. He talked all that trash for months. And today, he's the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Like, that is the epitome of standing on business, man. Like, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, in terms of a guy that went out, talked trash, and backed it up. Like, nobody's ever backed up a game of trash talk like Deebo Samuel did. It is phenomenal the way that he came out and just crushed, man. He crushed those boys. He crushed them, So, man, that was a well-deserving NFC Player of the Week. I knew he'd get it. It was, I knew he was going to get it. I mean, if you take away Deebo Samuel from that game, they probably don't win that game. So, heck of a performance for Deebo, man. My man, how about them Niners? Says, do you think the defense will be able to contain Lamar as effectively as they contain Hurts? Now, that's the big question. Lamar's a little quicker, a little faster. He's got a little bit more fast twitch than Jalen Hurts, but the 49ers being able to handle Jalen Hurts was huge. And I said it all week that I really felt that the thing about my boss was texting me. I really feel that Lamar, again, he's a faster type guy, but the thing about Jalen Hurts, man, the 49ers were able to contain him, and he has been running so good this season. And that is a good sign, a good indication that the 49ers are figuring out how to stop a mobile guy. Now, again, Lamar's a little bit quicker. He's had great success against the 49ers. I remember last time the 49ers played him, he ran all over. So I do think that because that they were able to stop Jalen Hurts in his tracks and contain him, I think it's a good way for them to be, successful and have a little bit more confidence going into this game with Lamar Jackson. I think that it is going to help them out. The fact that they were able to stop Jalen Hurts is massive in my mind. It's huge for them, because everybody was saying how good of a runner he is. He's strong. He's got this, crazy mobility, and he runs so many touchdowns. 49ers shut him down. They absolutely shut this guy down. So if they can shut down Jalen Hurts, I think they'll be able to do it to Lamar. It's the same concept. Pressure him, contain him, make sure Fred Warner's spying on the guy. It's going to be the same situation. And the 49ers, they've stood Geno Smith, who's a mobile quarterback. They've stood him on his tracks. Jalen Hurts. They got Kyler Murray next week. I feel like the 49ers are getting better in terms of stopping these mobile guys. Now, are they perfect? No. Every team has some struggles with mobile quarterbacks. That's just the nature of the game, unfortunately. But I feel like the 49ers are going to be able to take care of business. And, you know what I mean? I think they're going to be able to handle Lamar when the time comes. But before we get there, the 49ers still have to focus on Geno Smith and the Seahawks, Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. You take care of those 2 games, then we can worry about Lamar. But I think it's going to be a good sign that the 49ers defense will be able to contain Lamar, because they are playing better against these mobile guys. And being able to stop Jalen Hurts is going to give them so much confidence in the rest of this season. Because he's been balling, man. And everybody says, oh, he's so mobile. He's so good. He's so this. Niners shut him down. So good to see it. In any case, I'm going to probably hop out of here. We'll be back live later. Hope you guys, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Again, wanted to just talk about Arik Armstead and the rest of the news of the week, of the day. And we'll be back later this week. We'll talk more. Probably be live tonight. I got a show tonight. We're going to recap everything. And, I'll probably be live on Instagram later. You guys have a good rest of your day. I got to get back to work. My boss is texting me. I gotta go. Y'all have a good rest of your day. I love you. Bang bang, Niner gang.